interfere in the U.S. election, and they developed a clear preference for Donald Trump. What are we to make of this? Does it change the way we look at this election?
I don't know if it changes the way we look at it, Julie. It certainly changes the way we look at the United States' relationship with Russia, I think, and in this sense, that the intelligence community said made these findings with high confidence. Ever since the weapons of mass destruction era and decision on invading Iraq, the intelligence community has been very, very careful to avoid high confidence. That's saying we really believe this to be true. There's been more tentative. There was no question. There were unequivocal, emphatic. Every American ought to be angry, ought to be concerned that an unfriendly nation, a nation that is cooperated with us in certain places, but does not wish us well, sought to sabotage American democracy, American confidence in our own democratic institutions, and to influence the outcome of the election. I mean, that's a cause for concern and worry and anger. And I would hope we would respond not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans to make sure that happens again.
David, how should Americans look at this?
I agree with that, with anger, with shock. We've sort of gotten used to the idea, usually it's a British report, but the idea that Russia felt emboldened and apparently fearless to go into our election and manipulate our own election process, whether successfully or not, is a sign that they are outside the norms of normal society. There's always statecraft, there's always disinformation, but this is a step up. A Russia that feels completely free to do this. A Putin who feels completely free to do this without fear of penalty, and so far pain. Partly it's motivated, I think, by animus toward Hillary Clinton, as we heard earlier in the program, she said in 2011, 2012, partly, frankly, a desire, belief that Donald Trump will be tougher on ISIS. But the thing that should most concern us is a shift in American foreign policy. We've had a bipartisan belief in American foreign policy based on the post-World War II institutions that believed in democratic global world, which Russia and the Soviet Union was often seen as hostile to. And most Republicans and Democrats have always basically believed in this world order. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, and maybe Marine Le Pen, do not agree with this basic structure of the world. They seem to have no respect for the institutions that were created after World War II, and they see a potential alliance of populists around the world who would fight Islam and restore certain semblance of traditional values. And so we could be seeing a pivot in American foreign policy that may be in the mind of Donald Trump, certainly seems to be in the mind of Steve Bannon and his ideologies. And this is a piece of that larger shift.
Mark, I mean, Donald Trump, the president-elect, does have his own reaction to this report. I mean, joining in with what David's saying. I mean, he started out by calling it a political witch hunt, and then after he was briefed about it, he said, he made a very short comment and said in so many words that, well, it didn't affect the outcome of the election.
As usual, he takes the big picture. In other words, I won. And anything that in any way diminishes or tarnishes my personal victory, I reject. His disparagement, make that disdain openly for the American intelligence community and its work, is damaging to national security. I mean, the intelligence community, for the security of our nation, for the well-being of our nation, for the economic prosperity of our nation, competitiveness, depends on sources in other places, and other nations depend upon our intelligence. And here we have the president-elect dismissing, disparaging, disdaining openly because it somehow, in his way, his perspective diminishes his victory. It's just astonishing.
It's happening on three levels of like this story. There's the big strategic level, which I described. Then there's the Donald Trump ego level. And his ego is like a comet the size of Jupiter just traveling through the solar system, and we all have to be affected by its gravitational pull. So all of American foreign policy has to remind us that Donald Trump really did win this election all by himself. And nobody else could have helped, and so it was all me, me, me. And that seems to be the center of his views. And then the third is, this is a guy who's going to be taking over a public office, presidency of the United States. He's going to have a system built around him. He will have employees. And he, as a public servant, will work with other public servants, presumably the intelligence community. They seem completely uninterested in being part of this system, which our founders set up. And so he seems to still be a lone wolf, insulting his future employees. And believe me, woe to you who insults the intelligence community if you're president. You do not want to get on their bad side because A, they leak a lot. You actually need them to learn about the world. And he seems to be on purpose alienating the resources he's going to have to draw upon.
And as we just heard from John Kerry, Mark, the world is a more complicated place than it's maybe ever been. I mean, he talked about the number of different places that the U.S. now has to worry about its relationship with.
Yeah.
And it, you know, and right now we're at this critical point where we're changing from one administration to the next. It's always, I guess, a fraught time, but it just seems especially so this time.
No, it does, and I think in part because of the reason David observed earlier that the change